Hello everybody. It's that time of day. Today is Thursday, April 29th, and you're having lunch with Laura. I'm Laura Lee Collet. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Well, I don't have much to report on my Stampin' storage stuff yet because I'm waiting until May 3rd to place an order. They're having a 15% off sale that will go from the 3rd to the 6th. So that is, I believe, Monday to Friday. And if you are interested in ordering from Stampin' Storage, I am an affiliate, and I would appreciate it if you would go to my website, stampingatthebirdnest.com. And on the right-hand side is, I'm left-handed, so I'm always having to go on the right-hand side. There's a button down a little ways. If you'll scroll down, and you'll see the Stampin' Storage logo, and if you'll click there and order, I'll get credit, and it doesn't change your price at all. So hopefully I'll have what I'm going to order, or I will have ordered by next week. And today I am really excited about the card. I'm doing two techniques that I have been thinking about trying online, live, and one is brand new to me. It's called Joseph's Coat. And if you remember the Bible story, Joseph had a coat of many colors. So I'm going to flip you down, so that you can see what the two cards look like. And I'm going to make my screen bigger. Hi, Teresa. Hope you'll be back stamping with me soon. And I'm going to turn my lamp so that we're not having a big glare. I raised up my a little deal that holds my phone so that maybe you could see it a little bit better. I think last week it was a little bit too low. So, and as you can see, I have the April host code there for you for anybody that would like to go to my website and put in an order. Please use this code. Now, let's take a look at the cards. These are basically the same. I just did a little bit different position of the sentiment and the way I did my little jewels there. So probably more often than not, you're going to see where the background in Joseph's coat is black. And I've been experimenting and looking around, and you can use another dark color. The main thing is that you just want to be sure you cover. This is on basic white, and you want to make sure everything is covered, and so that it'll make the colors pop, and I'm going to show you how to do that. This was one I tried. On these cards, I'm using our new in colors that will be available to order May 4th. So y'all check out all the retired lists. They retire on May the 3rd. May the 4th, the catalog goes live, and you're able to order from the new catalog. So I'm going to be using the end colors, 3 of the end colors. The polished pink, soft succulent, and pale papaya. Now the background I used for this was the evening evergreen, and it's the 4th in the 5 colors. I didn't do enough. I was using a sponge that wasn't real good, and I was getting ink everywhere, so I decided I wouldn't try that today. But I think that if I had gone over and over this again, it would have covered up and been more uniform. And this was one I was just playing with, so you can see what it looks like without having the sentiment and everything on there. So let me tell you the color cardstock and size we're going to be using. oops, I got two here. Okay, the card base is going to be cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm putting a score line at 4 1/4 so that you will have a nice crisp edge there. The layer that goes on top is the pale papaya, and it's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going down 1/4 of an inch for each one. The Whisper White, or Basic White now it's called, is 3 3/4 by 5. Then we're going to have the layers for the birthday sentiment. And let's see. This one is 2 by 1 1/4, 2 1/4 by 1 1/2, and the succulent one is 2 1/2 by 1 3/4. So those are going to be stacked together. First things first, let's get a scratch piece of paper, and I'm going to start with the background of the card. I'm going to start, there really isn't an order to this, but this is the way I'm doing it. I'm taking my polished pink, and what I'm using today, you could use sponges, but I wanted you to see our new, they came out last year, but they're blending brushes. They're 3 the same size. They are $12, and they will be carried over to the new catalog. So I'm going to start with the polished pink, and I'm going to rub that around in it, and then I'm just going to kind of go over so it doesn't leave a mark. Sometimes when you put in a mark, or you go straight to the paper, it makes a darker mark. And you're just going to do this as dark and spaced out the way you want to. I'll put a little bit more there, put a little bit more there, and there. I'm going to leave this open in case I have to come back. I know that's breaking my rule. Now, I love the greens in this collection of in colors, and this one is the soft succulent. So again, I'm just going to rub my blending brush in there real good, kind of tap it on the paper. And I want the colors to be kind of bright, so I'm going to go over it a few times. This is, like I said, is a technique that I had never tried, and it's really a lot of fun. And of course, it's going to come out different every time you do it. Now, to fill in the spots that are left, I'm going to take the pale papaya, and I'm just going to go in between, oops, and make sure everything is colored. You want the whole basic white cardstock completely covered. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit more right in here. Okay. So that is what, and I think I'm through, so I'm going to go ahead and close these up. I told y'all last week that you're absolutely going to love the end colors. Sometimes we get them and they last 2 years and you're not too sad to see them go. Other times you fall in love and wish they'd become a core color, which you never know, they might. Okay, this was the first step. The next thing you're going to do is select which stamp set you're going to use. And I didn't tell you what stamp sets we're using. I am using Floral Essence. This is a retiring stamp set. And it really makes great cards, and you're going to see how you can tell how it turned out with this one. Y'all, I am having sinus trouble, and I apologize for that. I keep clearing my throat. Now, there wasn't a sentiment on here I wanted to use, so I went to another stamp set that is retiring. This is a great one. Here's a card, and it has a lot of all occasion stamp sets, and we're going to use the Happy Birthday. Now, this is probably the most exciting part of this whole thing. We're going to be heat embossing, which I love, 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 and I don't do it enough, but it is something that is just awesome to try if you've never tried it. And let me warn you, it is a little messy. So, and you'll see that in a minute. Okay, so I'm using Versamark, which is a clear watermark stamp, and I am going to randomly place the flowers. And I'm going to hold this up, and I hope you're able to see it. If you can see the shiny parts, that's where the Versamark is. Now, I'm going to go in. Yeah, you're not really able to see it. You'll be able to see it when I put the embossing powder on it. Okay, I'm just going to add some leaves. If they overlap something, that's fine too. Now, one thing about Versamark, if you don't put your powder on it, it will dry. Not like that, but it'll dry over time. So I have done this where I've done like 5 cards at a time. I'll do them with Versamark and then do them with the powder spread on it. Then you can come back and heat set them. And I'm just going to make sure that this is sprinkled all over. And then you're going to tap it to get off any stray pieces. And I think that now you're able to see the design. So I'm going to set, yeah, there you go. So I'm going to set my embossing powder aside, and I'm going to get my tweezers. I'm going to be using a heat gun to heat set it, and this is the best part. When you turn it on and you let it warm up just a bit, and I'm going to hold this up so you can watch. As it melts, it changes colors. It goes to a clear, shiny. Can you see that? How it is melting. And you just wave your heat gun over. Mine is not a Stampin' Up! One. It is probably one I got right before I joined Stampin' Up! So I'm expecting it to go kaput any second. But you're going to wave this all over. Isn't that like magic? I just love it. It's so much fun to watch. Okay. Now, what I do is I put it up under a light. I'm going to put it over here. And I make sure that all of it is shiny. Let me see if I can put my light on here so that you can see. And I've got one little spot right there that I'm going to go back over with the heat gun, but I think it's looking pretty good. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's do that one just a little bit more. Okay, so we've stamped and now we've embossed. Now comes the other fun part. I'm going to take my Memento ink and let me mention this to you too before we get on into that. Be sure that your Watermark pad has been re-inked. And let me tell you what I found out. Where did I put my, I guess I moved it. Oh, here it is. My little re-inker for the Watermark. I hadn't replaced this in probably 15 or more years. I've been at it since '04. And I found out that my Watermark refill went bad. Now, I don't know if it really went bad or it just got too thick, but anyway, I replaced it. And right before I started doing this, I re-inked this. Now, it comes white. Mine never stay totally white, but it doesn't affect the way it stamps. And then on your Memento, be sure that it has been recently stamped, because what you're going to do now is take your pad and we're going to do what's called pad to paper. And you're going to go over it. And here where your tweezers can come in again. And I'm just making sure that everything, there's a spot right there, is good and covered. Let me turn it around this way. Oh, and I should have told y'all this too, that it's a good idea to go ahead and get this out of the way that had the embossing powder on it. Okay, so I have done all of that with the black. And the last step is where you're really going to get to see how things look. I'm going to take a paper towel and just go over. That's going to take any ink. See how it's coming off the embossed areas? Because if you don't, that's going to stay wet and it'll smear and get on your ribbon. I know that for a fact. Okay, now I'm going to put that aside. I also wanted to jazz up this card a little bit by rounding the corners. We have a great, it's called the Detail Trio Punch, and it has a corner rounder, which we're going to use. It also has, let me find a little scrap of paper. Well, I'd already done it on that one. Let me do it on this edge. It has little, what do you call them? Stays or whatever, where you put your paper in and you butt up against that, and then you stamp. Now, isn't that cute? I love that little design too. It also will punch a hole. So if you wanted to make a tag, you could use that. So let's look at our card base. And I did round all the corners, and it will go through 2 layers. Now I'm going to butt that up against the little stops. See how nice that came out? Oops. Okay. Now, I'm going to do our papaya piece all the way around. Let's get it up in there. And if you ever have a time when you didn't get it quite up in against the little stops, just stick it back in and recut it. Okay, so that's going to go on there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down on my card base, making sure I have my card faced the correct way. Okay, so now we're ready to put this on. However, I want to go ahead and punch these, make them rounded too. I love punches. They're easy and quick. Now, because I positioned my leaves all kind of going up, I'm not going to put it like this, because to me it looks like it's upside down. So we're going to put it like here, right here. But I'm going to tie my ribbon around before I put that on. And you know I have to turn it upside down. I don't know why, but my legs come out facing the wrong way when I do it the other way. This way they come out facing right, or correct. Now, let me see. Let me get that one just, I wanted it to be a little bit longer. This is the Pale Papaya ribbon. All of the end colors have a ribbon to match. Y'all, it is so easy and fun to work with. And again, I didn't get that long enough, but I'm gonna leave it like it is. Okay, so I'm gonna clip that little end off. And I'm gonna use dimensionals to pop this up on here. Did you know we have black dimensionals? I don't use them very often, but I thought this would be a good one to use it on, since the background is black. Peel those off. And I have a friend that I think she corner rounds everything, and I forget about doing it, but it does add a little different appearance to your card. Now, on the sentiment, and I think I dropped a piece on the floor that I need. Uh-oh. Let's see, maybe both of them fell. Yep, they did. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to heat emboss the happy birthday. But this time I'm using the Watermark and the black embossing powder. So I'm going to get my Watermark pad and my happy birthday. Oops. Okay, there we go. I'm going to sprinkle my embossing powder over that. Shake off the excess. And then the fun part, we get to heat emboss. Let me get this out of the way. With the gun and everything, and even if you're not using the gun over here, I find that when I use the powder, the embossing powders, it does tend to go everywhere. So just keep that in mind and keep your surface cleaned up. Okay, there's my heat gun. I'm just going to put it under my light. Looks like everything's done there. Now, when you go to, if you're not doing all four corners, be careful about how you put it together. I just randomly cut and it does make a difference. So I'm going to do the top right and the bottom left. Here's the papaya. Now, did I do that right? Nope. See? Oh, well, you can turn it over. Anyway, okay. I knew that. It's when you go to adhere them together that you need to pay attention to which side you're using. So, you want them to be stacked like this and like that. So you can see if I did it the wrong way, it's not going to be curved. Then you just have to go in and curve everything, all your corners. My adhesive. I'm going to put that right here. And then I want to be sure I'm doing it the correct way, so I'm going to put that wasn't what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. But I meant to put the adhesive on the papaya, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I've got a couple little smudges I'm going to have to and it looks like one little section didn't get it, but I'm going to make it so that the ribbon takes care of that, and it ain't going to make a difference. Now, here's our card, and I'm going to pop this up too. So, here are my black dimensionals. These are very cool. I don't know why I think they're so cool, but I do. And okay, I'm going to hide this with the ribbon so that it's not as noticeable. And then you have to have bling. And let's see. I might just scatter them this time. We'll put one over here where that bee didn't really come out. And I'll put one down here. They're 3 different sizes. These are the champagne rhinestones, and it's amazing what all they go with. It looks really good with the papaya, and I might even just put one up here on the ribbon. And we'll put one here, make the ribbon sparkle. And we'll do another one down here. Okay. So, there you have it. We did the Joseph's coat technique where you colored your background, your Whisper White or your Very Vanilla cardstock with inks that we blended with our blender pens. And after you did that, we took the Watermark pad and your stamps and stamped randomly. Then we put the the clear embossing powder on there, heat embossed it. Then remember to take a paper towel and rub it all over the embossed parts so that the ink will come off of there. And then we just put it together. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. This is always such a good time being with y'all on Thursdays. And I hope you'll pass it along to your coworkers, anybody else that you know that stamps or doesn't stamp. Maybe we can get them working with us. But remember a couple of things. Let's get you back so you can see me. On the 4th, the new catalog comes out. So from today, the 29th of April, to May 3rd, you'll be able to order from the old catalog, and some of those items, many of them, are retiring. You won't be able to get them again. So then on the 4th of May, you can select things out of the brand new catalog. If you have not gotten your catalog, please let me know, and I will get one to put in your hot little hand. I like to get in bed with my glass of wine, my sticky notes, pen and paper, and go through the catalog several times. Write down and make me a long wish list. I don't end up ordering everything, but as I do, I scratch it off, highlight it in my catalog so that I don't reorder it, and then I know what I have and what I want to have. And I'm wishing all of you a great weekend. See you back here Thursday at 12 noon Central Daylight Time. And there was one other thing I was going to tell you. I was going to mention again about Stamp and Storage. They have a lot of wonderful items for your supplies to be stored in. And I am moving into the IKEA cube section of my Stampin' Studio, so I'm going to be able to get things organized here shortly. But y'all have a great week. Love you. Come back and see me. Mwah. Bye.